Hello and welcome to another step-by-step how to tie tutorial video. This is the Mocha Parachute. This is tied on a size 14 dry fly hook. This is a 4X fine. For a tying thread, I am using this beautiful mocha brown waxed thread. The tail, of course, is this tan Goose Biot. The body material is a dyed Ozark turkey. Some beautiful color in there. The post material is a Crinkled Zelon in Caddis amber. And the actual parachute itself is a hen cape in this beautiful brown. Alright, let's go ahead and remove our sample. And we can secure our hook. And before I tie on my thread, I'm going to pull out a considerable length because I'm going to be using this thread as ribbing as well. So like all good flies, this will begin with a single wrap of thread. And we will continue our wraps rearward towards the bend, capturing all this thread. We can go ahead and just set that out of the way while we tie on our Goose Biot for our tail. I'm going to take this out one hook's length, or thereabouts. And I'll do mine one at a time, starting with the near side. And I like to come in and just do a couple of wraps, and then bring my thread forward on the hook. Then I'll do a couple more wraps. Again, I just take my time, do it one at a time. Okay, now for the far side, we'll match up our tips. Again, a couple tight wraps, bring my thread forward a little, capture that biot. That way I get that tied into the whole length of the hook. Get that back up there. Beautiful. Alright. A little bit to trim off on this far side. And we'll secure it all the way back down just to make sure we got it nice and even. Alright, time to tie in our post material. Again, this is a Crinkled Zelon in Caddis amber. Come underneath and just set it right on top. Couple of locking wraps in front and in back. We'll take a couple wraps to the rear. Build up a little bit of a taper. Alright, working on the post. Always keeping my tension straight down on these first few locking wraps, keeping it nice and tight. If you can form a nice tight base, it makes building the post that much easier. And I found that if you let a little bit of thread out, it comes out just a little bit easier. Alright, once we have our post tied in, we can go ahead and get our hackle feather ready to get tied on. We'll trim off our fluff. And I'm going to give this a little bit of a buzz cut on either side of the stem. Okay, now I'm going to tie this in so the curve is facing out. lock the stem in on the front where the head would be. And now to get that situated just like that. That way when I fold the feather over to palmer it down the post, I will have the top side up. Excellent. Alright, now for the body, last but not least, I'm going to tie this in. And I have the mottled side and I have the underside. I'm going to tie it in mottled side down here on the front side. Here we go. Go wrap behind. We'll just bury the rest of that material in there. Take my thread all the way to the eye. All the way. Because that's going to flip over. Excellent. It's precisely what we want. Alright, I'm going to park my tying thread on the top and around that post. See a couple of strays. We'll trim them out. Alright, let's come in with our hackle pliers and we will palmer on the body. Starting from the front, working our way to the rear. Here we go. Work my way right around that tying thread. I'll do one more wrap on the other side of that thread. There we go. Taking our time, working from the front to the rear. Nice and even. Things are going to get pretty wide here in the rear. We can just take our time. And get it all the way to that bend of that hook. Excellent. I'm just going to stop there. And get my thread ready for my counter ribs. This first one's quite important because that's going to hold down that turkey nice and tight. A couple of tight wraps in the back. And because I brought my material from the front to the rear, my counter wraps will actually just be a normal wrap because it will still counter the material as it went on. But this will add a little bit of an insurance policy to that fragile turkey feather. Alright, up front we'll do a couple turns on the whip finish. Secure that ribbing down. Excellent. Let's go ahead and trim that out of the way. And let's go ahead and trim the rest of that body material out of the way. Alright, one last turn there on the tying thread around the post. Get things situated, get that hackle feather ready to go on, and this is a game of tension and balance. Of course, the sturdier of the post, the easier a job this will be. We'll just take our time, nice and easy, working our way from the top down around the post. Alright, once I get to the bottom, I'm going to hold my hackle feather straight down I'm going to come up and around with my tying thread and lock that in. And we'll come in with our whip finish. We're going to whip finish around the post. 1, 2, 3. End up on the bottom side. Let's go ahead and trim our tying thread off. We'll trim the tip of the hackle off. Nice and close. And we can finally trim our post to length, leaving that little spot up top. And we don't have anything to really clean up around here. Everything looks good. Alright, that is the Mocha Parachute. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Happy tying, and with this one, tight lines.